afternoon, friends. It is August the 18th, 2025, and several things we're going to be looking at today, including Trump's vow to remove the homeless that are encamped in Washington, D.C., also across different parts of the United States. But he's even talking about deploying National Guard troops there. This is probably one of the most deplorable things that I've ever seen him do thus far. Well, I don't know, maybe second most deplorable thing. Probably the most deplorable thing is his support of bombing Gaza and killing tens of thousands of children in Israel. But this here ranks up pretty high. And it's not so much that I understand that there is a crisis in Washington, D.C., with so many people living in tents there. But then again, as in this interview you will see here, an apartment, a one-bedroom apartment, is $2,300 inside of there. And it's very expensive to live there. But the thing is, not taking these people to prison if they don't cooperate with you, but rather offering a solution to get these people housing that they can afford. That would be the better thing to do, and to consider what the people are going through, not just you decide arbitrarily that these people have mental illnesses and they're violent and they're criminal and everything else, kind of like what he's doing at his little alligator Alcatraz down there in Florida. He's rounding up a whole bunch of new citizens there and detaining them, or purported to do so, as this goes on. We're going to be looking at that here in just a moment there, as well as Israel. So many things that are going on, including Smotrich approves the West Bank settlement plan to bury idea of a Palestinian state. We're going to be looking at that, as well as the protests in Israel have gone very, very massive. Even so much to violence is breaking out amongst Israelis for the situation that Netanyahu refuses to make peace with the hostages. Let's get started with this right here from the very beginning there. We'll go back here to this clip that we have of Donald Trump with CBS News. Let's listen into this broadcast here real quick. Let me quickly pick up the pace on the speed of it a little bit just to make it a little bit easier.
Said that if the president and Republicans cared about improving the conditions in the city, that they should have allocated the $1 billion in funding for the city. Regarding the homelessness, which President Trump kind of talked broadly about, there are still questions on what is new from the announcement that he made yesterday. You saw the White House put out an executive order in March saying that they would remove homelessness encampments from federal grounds, and you saw Interior Secretary Burgum say that over 70 of those camps had been removed since that executive order in March. The White House also put out an executive order in July that would essentially make it easier for states to remove homeless people from their streets and put them in medical treatment centers. But advocates say that doing that involuntarily is inhumane, and said that the best solution for solving homelessness is giving them affordable housing.
And Aaron, I also want to get to this.
Exactly what I said as well. And of course, he is talking about bringing in the National Guard. I think they bring this out here at the very beginning of this. Let me go back to it.
I'm announcing
a renewed push to crack down on crime in his own backyard. How he says he'll do that? A federal takeover of the nation's capital.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back.
But we took a look at the numbers. Despite President Trump's claim that crime is getting worse in D.C., stats show as of yesterday, total violent crime was down by 26% compared to last year. And when looking at all crime, which includes burglary and auto theft, there's been a drop of 7%. So let's go live to the White House and CBS News.
There you go right there. So crime is down. Can't really blame it on crime. But I do agree it is a problem to have so many people living in tents. But then again, what's the problem? It's affordable housing. People just cannot afford to live in this type of condition. But I'm sure there are many apartment buildings that have been vacated, maybe foreclosed on, whatever the case may be, to where these apartment buildings could be used to help people to have places to live rather than doing what he's doing right now. Let's move on, though, and we're going to take a look here. This here is the anger bowl is over. Netanyahu's refusal to cut a deal for the 50 remaining hostages, with families accusing him of playing politics while lives hang in the balance. And they got every right to say so there, because those 50 hostages now are starving to death just like the Palestinian children. And of course, the IDF rhetoric is that Hamas is stealing all the food that they're sending in. Well, we watch the different images continually, how that Israeli settlers, go there to the border and they trash all the trucks that have got aid on there, trying to get aid inside of the Gaza Strip. So it's not Hamas, it is Israeli settlers that are destroying the supplies that are going in. And of course, when it comes to those sometimes where they claim that Hamas is shooting at the people, no, the Israelis have now armed a bunch of criminals to try to overthrow Hamas. And they are shooting at the Gaza people trying to get food, trying to do that, as well as we know from a former Green Beret of the United States that was a contractor there who has also spoken out and said, no, it was Israeli IDF soldiers given orders to shoot and kill children as they come up for the supplies. It's a horrible, horrific event that's happening. But finally, Israelis have had enough. They've had enough of Netanyahu and what he's doing. This isn't just 10,000 Israelis marching. This is probably closer to 50 to 100,000 Israelis filling the streets inside of Tel Aviv, demanding that these hostages be released and that Netanyahu accept the deal. And speaking of the deal there, I had just seen right before coming on here, let me see if I can find it again here real quick. Hamas has accepted, they actually have accepted the Egypt's new ceasefire hostage offer. That just came in 10 hours ago, according to the open source intel, that they have accepted the deal in order to exchange hostages, a ceasefire agreement that Egypt has brokered. We'll just have to wait to see if anything actually happens there. Also, too, Gaza, the endless war becomes official. By the way, I want to thank Charles Hodge. He shares so much information with me here on my X channel here. I thank you, Charles, for a lot of this great information you share with me. Its open vow to reoccupy Gaza, displace 1 million more people, and launch a long-term fight that targets not just Hamas but Iran. That's from Israel's military chief, just approved the next phase of the war, and it's not a secret. So that's what we have going on right here. The IDF finalizes the plans to take over Gaza City, and they are planning to do exactly that and expel all of the Palestinians that are living in that region there. Let me share with you too, by the way, we see here Palestinians from Gaza arriving in Belgium. It's quite possible that millions of refugees from Palestine will eventually be sent to Europe. It's a win-win deal for Israel, which gets two birds with one stone. It's very sad because these people want to live in their homeland. But at this point here, I kind of see where it would probably be better for their interest rather than continue to die, to at least be in a place where they can live in safety once and for all in their lives there, rather than being slaughtered by the Israelis. But something needs to be done to stop the Israeli government from what they're doing and slaughtering these people, not just in Gaza, not just in the West Bank, but also in Syria, in Lebanon, in going into Egypt as well, and they're going to eventually go into Saudi Arabia. That's the next plan, and Netanyahu has recently admitted to that plan as well. So anyway, a senior Israeli this is a really weird one here, right? Senior Israeli cyber warfare specialist was arrested along with 7 other child sex predators on felony charges of luring a child with a computer for sex act by Las Vegas police in a sting operation. Tom Alexandrovich is a senior Israeli government official serving as a top cyber warfare specialist. He has held roles such as acting head of data and AI and executive director of Cyber Defense Division at the Israeli National Cyber Directorate. The INCD operates under the direct authority of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and this man has now been arrested. He was released also and allowed to return to Israel, which is a crime against the American people. But as always, that's exactly what's happened, just like the dancing Israelis, right? You get caught, that's all right, they get to go back to Israel. Why? Because the Trump administration supports terrorism at its highest level in the state of Israel. And it doesn't matter if they commit those crimes here in the United States as well, they still are very well supported. It's just disgusting when you think about it. We have here Dr. Raghad. She says, I'm still alive, but it doesn't even matter. I want you to listen to what she has to say here in this video here. And as you can see, poor girl is nearly starved, slapped to death, skin and bones, has her whole neck wrapped up as well because she is so frail. Listen to what she
Can you
says.
imagine that the place we used to talk and with peace of mind, we now walk in with fire because of the massacres that happen every day. Our greatest wish now to live safety in our country. Please share and spread this video. Maybe you will be the reason for saving my families and my life. Can you imagine?
Very sad that this woman has had to endure this along with so many other Palestinians as well in the region there. Um, in closing here for our news broadcast today, I wanted to share also, I just got this in also from Charles there. China firm plans world's first pregnancy humanoid robot using artificial womb. Now, what could you imagine a poor child that would be born like that would feel? No mother's heartbeat, no mother's real womb, but instead an artificial womb. The innovation uses artificial amniotic fluid and a nutrient delivering via hose, replicating natural gestation now to integrate it into humanoid robots. This is something they're talking about doing here in 2026. That this technology will be available next year, and it only costs about right around 14,000 US dollars to be able to get a robot here that'll actually do the work for you and pop out your baby at the end. What's the world coming to? I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live. Don't forget to check out our website, israelinewslive.org. We'll be uploading a few new stories here in the next few days here. So you definitely want to check out the website there. And I got to get a new video uploaded on there as well. And two, if you want to support the work we do, you can donate there by just clicking there online or even LifeWave. That is something. And by the way, they got this new water machine coming out. I'm very interested in myself. Infuses light into the water. But we're hearing every week so many new testimonies for people that are using the X39 patches to stimulate their GHKCU copper peptide, which in turn stimulates their stem cells. And it's just been phenomenal, especially those that stick it out. That's what I always say. We didn't know it in the beginning until later, but those that have stayed on this for a year or longer have some amazing testimonies to go with it. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live. God bless you and thank you for listening.